introduce the panelists. First up, producer Lance Sloan. Next up, Executive Vice President of Network Programming for Machinima, Aaron Debawaz. Okay, next up, Director Kevin Tancherone. Kevin was here. All right, next up, Casper Van Dien. You guys know him. He plays Johnny Cage. Also seen in Starship Troopers. Kevin will be right here. He's waiting for his grand entrance. Next up, Brian T., who plays Liu Kang. Also seen in The Wolverine, opening next week. Next up, Ian Anthony Dale, who plays Scorpion. Also seen in Hawaii Five-O. Next up, Samantha Joe, who plays Katana, also seen in Mortal Kombat Legacy. And then, of course, Ed Boon, creator of Mortal Kombat. Thanks for coming, guys. All right, so this first question is for everyone. How did you guys feel about the first season of the show, and what impact did that leave of the energy level going into the second season?
I think that's one for Kevin.
That's one for Kevin, but Samantha?
Yes. I think, as all of you know, Mortal Kombat is a passion project for all of us. So after season 1, we were just stoked that we got to work on a Mortal Kombat, let alone a second season. So going into the second season with, 70 million views from you guys, thank you very much. It's made it possible.
Kevin Tancherone, a new challenger has appeared.
We only had all the best energy going into the second season. It was just season 1 amped up and crazy.
Yeah, we actually, we knew we had a quality, exciting product with season 1. I think we were all a little surprised, but very pleased with the success that it had. But we all felt a responsibility with season 2 to raise the bar and make it bigger and better and more exciting. And I think we were able to succeed. And we can't wait for you guys to see it.
Now, Kevin, who came in a little late, I will say, the first question was, how did you feel about the first season, and how did that raise the stakes going into the second season?
I was very happy with the first season. When the first episode hit, I had a knife on my wrist, hoping that people were going to like it. And then as the responses kept coming in, I saw a lot of positivity, and then I think the first episode's up to like 18 million or something like that. So I was thrilled that the fans, obviously there's some comments that were negative, and I read all of those as well and took that in. But when it came to time to season 2, we wanted to do what the fans asked for, which was show the tournament and show fatalities and have bigger character arcs, and I think that's what we've accomplished in season 2.
Nice. Now, I've got a few more questions prepared, but I want to give everyone here the opportunity to ask some questions. So we're going to be taking questions via Twitter. So tweet using the hashtag MKL2SDCC. And we'll get to those after a few minutes. But once again, it's hashtag MKL2SDCC. We'll start reading those a little bit later as they start to come in. Next question. Where did you guys shoot this series? And what was the shooting like?
We shot in Los Angeles, actually. We shot all over Los Angeles, and we shot about 90 minutes in 13 days, which is incredibly crazy, especially with all the visual effects and the fighting that we had to do. Everybody here basically did their own stunts and learned all of the fighting in a day or half a day. And it was hectic, but we tried to plan it as much as possible. I'm sure they had a lot of grueling hours. I know you guys want to talk about how it was.
Yeah, I think for me it really felt like a feature film. You know, we shot, like he was saying, in 13 days, and really a giant passion project for all of us. You know, the cast and crew, and really kind of put our creativity together and created what I think you guys will really enjoy.
You know, during season 1, we felt extremely rushed most of the time. There was a lot of running and gunning. You know, scenes had to be shortened, some scenes had to be cut entirely, and I think as a result, the product suffered to a certain degree. And, you know, we learned from the mistakes we made in season 1 and tried to rectify those ahead of season 2, and one of the things that we did was we dedicated more time to the rehearsal process. And we all got together, the DP, the director, camera operators, and mapped out cinematically how we wanted to film these fight scenes prior to ever stepping on set. So it was nice to be prepared in that way and have a good idea of what we were going to do every day we stepped on set. It made for a much smoother shooting process.
Yeah, I would think that, I have Machinima, and I would say that what's interesting about season 1 is that it actually started, you know, obviously with Kevin's passion project for the short. I think the season 1 was a lot longer than just, you know, the start of episode 1 for Legacy, and you could see that authentic kind of nature of the first season was a result of kind of shooting it the way that he did the first short. I mean, in kind of a very quick, you know, full of energy, full of passion, entrepreneurial way, you know, really from someone that had, was a fan of the franchise, and it just showed on screen. So everybody, I think the audience loved it, we loved it. It was just an awesome, process.
Yeah, Kevin's like the perfect guy to be helming this project because really he's the ultimate Mortal Kombat fan. And he's got such a great vision, and you know, that was evident in Mortal Kombat Rebirth and season 1, and it's really on display in season 2. You guys are gonna love it. Hope you guys love it.
Now remember, right? Give it up. Right?
We're also going to show you a fatality later. So.
All right, so now remember, tweet your questions to MLK2 SDCC. If you're having trouble getting connected, worst case scenario, we'll just open it up to the floor, but we're hoping that it's going to work through Twitter. There's a lot more action this time around. I've gotten to see about half the show so far. Jealous? Yeah. Yeah, you guys are going to be stoked. There's a lot more action. Does that raise the stakes for, like, you talked about the production preparation, but as far as the physicality, like, what kind of training does that mean you guys had to go through?
Well, I think for a lot of us, I think we'll all agree that we had some of the best stunt guys in the world. You know, we had Larnell Stubble, who would choreograph all of our stunts, and then we had the great Garrett Warren to kind of put everyone together and coordinate everything. So I think everyone here, we had at least a month to train and to do the choreography and train with each other, which, you know, and a lot of times you don't have the opportunity to have. So to have it on this, especially it being Mortal Kombat, and it's very, very stunt heavy, very, very martial arts heavy, you know, it's just a blessing, and you guys are gonna have a blast watching it.
I mean, it was a huge difference in comparison to season 1, where we learned the fight maybe a day or two before, and in the case of my fight, we had literally like an hour and a half to film it. This time we had several weeks to prepare, and then like 2 full days to shoot. And so the quality of the fights and the brutality and everything is just so much improved in the second season. And you guys are going to get to see some of that, and hopefully you all like it.
You're like, bring it on, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to it. Now, these are really iconic characters, right? These are not just video game characters. These have really transcended that world. We've got movies, we've got this series. For everyone here, what's it like working with these iconic characters? And is there pressure with legacies and just your own ideas around them? And how do you get past that pressure?
Talk to Casper.
Johnny. Well, actually, I got to point something out, though. These characters are very iconic, and yes, we tried to raise the bar, but I don't think we've raised the bar as much as these guys. Can you stand up? Because it's Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Floaty. That's something that I probably never would have thought of.
Yeah.
But Ed Boon, I think that should be a DLC character. I don't, in working with NetherRealm hand in hand, they were very, very open to some of the ideas that I had, and we went back and forth and collaborated quite a bit. Obviously, these characters are incredibly iconic, and we had to keep everything that everyone loves. Scorpion had to say "get over here," of course. Sub-Zero had to do his streets.
In English this time.
Yeah, in English this time. Kung Lao